Beloved heart, I invite you to sign up to my mailing list, and as a result of signing up, you will get a free gift. It's a 5D rebalance tune up of all these chakras, and chakras are my specialty. So I would love to gift you with this transmission that is filled with light language and codes to help you stay balanced and tuned up during these increased frequencies of energy of this ascension, this new earth frequency. So check out the links in the notes of this show. And I look forward to connecting with you. I am sending you love. This is the transfiguration of the new you. Hello, beloved. Welcome back to another episode on my podcast. I'm Monica Bermudez. I am your host for the podcast called Ascended Earth, the Transfiguration of the New Human. So I am not in my typical place for recording, but I felt this message was important for us to discuss and to bring up. We're in the month of February of 2025. A lot has been happening. Definitely feels like January was compressed. A lot of things in the month that just happened. It was just so hard to keep up with everything, or even grieve, for that matter, with some of the things that have been going on. So this month of February, which is actually a Valentine's month for the United States, I'm sure there are other places in the world that also celebrated in February. By the time this episode gets released, it's going to be that week of Valentine's. And I thought, should I talk about something about relationships? What kept coming up, though, was this whole message about the toxic systems and the embedded patriarch dark systems that are no longer working for us. So in a way, this does tie into all matters of our relationships in our life. And so this felt very relevant to this month and the ongoing changes. So there is a lot of disentanglement and division that is occurring. In every societal downfall, there's a societal renewal. In every downfall, there is a heartbreak of losses in the ongoing accelerated changes. In order to disentangle from old toxic systems or systems that have been designed to control and brainwash the masses, it means to let go of every aspect that no longer serves us in that way. A lot of the old systems have been embedded with the dark patriarch. That is a toxic side to it. So looking at financial institutes, for instance, have held an energy that has not felt pleasant to me for so long. I feel we're due for a renewal. So this is not to put any fear or anything, but it is just for us to be aware of. And it is a space for us to hold so much compassion for everything that is happening now. It is like we're simultaneously dismantling and renewing at the same time. And the intent of this episode really is for awareness, support, healing, and empowerment. Since the beginning of this year, I have noticed that there is more of the toxic patriarch energy coming up, which is so aggressive and about having control or power over others through toxic means. It's like a narcissistic tendency where it becomes like bullying and abusive in different forms. And I have been observing this around certain circles with others, as well as societal structures, like in sales tactics, when it comes to timeshares, for instance. A lot of it was hidden in plain sight, I would say, but it is becoming more clear and more evident on the surface. Part of it is because we are more sensitive, more aware than ever before during our relationships or just interactions with others. When we come in, other people's space, feel that energy, you feel that sensitivity, you feel that there is something there. Your psychic abilities, your intuition is unfolding even more so because we all have these abilities in us. So what these new energies are doing is just really resurfacing that within us, our own talents and who we are in a natural state. So there is a level and layer of our soul that is re-emerging and reawakening. And there is a form of releasing that is going on as well. However, in the process of being a witness to it or experiencing it, firsthand, if you're going through that experience, it does not feel so good. Nowadays, I am finding that if I do experience these energies, that I do my own energy clearing. It is a constant daily basis thing to do for all of us. Cutting energy cords, clearing your auric field, doing that tune-up, and getting yourself rebalanced and back in your body. Because the tendency is that when we experience certain pains or suffering, like if someone is yelling at you or you're experiencing an unpleasant interaction with someone, sometimes, part of us wants to escape and not be a part of it. But there is also this other part that wants to protest that kind of behavior and abuse, that no longer tolerates it. And I feel that is resurfacing a lot more in many of us. So we are making a stand, we are making a speech to speak up for ourselves, to defend ourselves in this way. However, it's also managing our own energy, right? And not leaking it in unnecessary places. If, placing yourself in that same energy field with the other. So it's best to just make peace with yourself in that and just observe it without absorbing it, if that makes any sense, right? But I am finding that a lot of this is also moving a lot faster than it used to before, right? When we experience certain energies, but then we're able to just move on much faster. For those, who have been doing a lot more of the inner work, and that's really what's going on here is about our inner work. And, I had heard some of the astrologers say how this year it's about the wind, the signs was wind with air in them, and also the signs of more of the fire signs that are emerging more for this year. So those two signs, of air and fire, they have a tendency to move more rapidly and accelerate. So that's really what's going on with these new energies. So these new energies are actually also supposed to are meant to support us in dissolving these energies within. Everything we do here on Earth is a reflection of one another. It's all a mirror reflection. And I am not saying it's okay to receive a blowback or an aggressive behavior from anyone, right? There is a part of letting go and sustaining your own healthy boundaries too. At some level in us, there is a part of us that wants to help a loved one or someone else to have a better situation, even when there is that person that continues doing the same thing over and over again. And honestly, it's not our job to change anyone. So we must let go of that control with others and let them learn from their mistakes too. Everybody has their own form of karma, and karma is, that cause and effect, or just there's a lot of dissolving of that as well. And that includes our ancestral karma as well, in the collective, but also in the individual. So sometimes if we find ourselves getting involved with other people's problems or challengings, even when that person or that situation is not asking for your help, we get entangled in that somehow. entangled in certain dramas, right? So that's not what, we're here for. We're really here for also making those changes, starting with ourselves and really cleaning up our own inner home within our temple. And it's also within that we're able to tap into our own quantum field, which is where all of us are interconnected. So, in a way, trying to get in other people's problem situations or getting involved and wanting to change others is also not healthy for us. So it may depend, right, on certain cases, which is why our heart discernment is so important right now. So your best way to discern is through your own healed heart. So through this episode, I also want to hold a space of compassion for those who are going through major changes and impacted by catastrophes going on in the world. Has been like a nonstop situation with everybody. So as such, I want to conduct a special collective meditation toward the end of this episode. But first, when I refer to the Dark Patriarch, here's what I mean. So it's about, oppressive force that can sometimes hide behind the guise of tradition, authority, or even benevolence. It isn't just about the individual man in power, but also about the system that enables and perpetuates dominance, such as dictators. It includes some psychological mechanisms that keep patriarchal power structures intact, such as gaslighting, emotional manipulation, control tactics that make people, especially, you know, marginalized groups, question their reality or worth. So the old ways have taught most men and people in general, the right society, to suppress emotions. And the dark patriarchal system reinforced toxic ideas about masculinity that limits, emotional expression, vulnerability, and authentic connection. And in some cases, this will be leaked, with women who would pursue careers that used to be held by men in power. So we have been conditioned in some ways to pursue our career in a very aggressive way, in such, a manner. And that's the way a lot of it's been embedded within politics, religion, workplace, education, media, and finances. And there are still parts of the world where women are oppressed, right? And even in some cases, men too. Okay, this goes both ways, right? The dark patriarch energy can also be within men and also in women. So the toxic masculinity is a form of, aggression, emotional suppression, dominance, and control, which fuels the dark patriarch figure. And this involves looking at, how traditional roles and society expectations, push men toward an unhealthy ideals of strength, authority, and emotional repression. And also women who embrace this or have embraced it in some way, right? So it has infiltrated most of society in our environments in this way. So this list can go on with more examples of that, but I believe you get the point. So where we are right now is that what is re-emerging, right? First, we were getting this energy of the divine feminine energy that has been emerging, but it is coming in much stronger on the earth plane, the new frequencies of this new earth. So from that divine feminine, what is also evolving is this divine masculine energy that is coming in more like I would say this twin flame energy union. But I'm speaking of the energies right now. I'm not speaking about physical union of any form, but that energy does manifest into the societal structures. You see, there is a level of dismantling that is going on by witnessing more of these type of expressions through the dark patriarch energy. And at the same time, there are renewals of these twin flame energy communities of energies, of bringing in the divine feminine energy and the divine masculine energy into these structures and systems to sustain and to be more in support of people, of us, of humanity. And I have been seeing certain communities now, people who are coming in, right, and supporting one another in different ways. This is all the New Earth vibe. And I can feel the exhaustion, in many of us. I can feel it in myself that being exhausted of going through this, it's like this vicious cycle, right? So what's happening right now is that we're breaking these cycles. And these cycles that we're breaking within ourselves first is creating rippling effects as well in the quantum field. And it may not be evident in the moment right now, overnight, or the next day, but it is working. The energy is working in different ways of it being renewed. And as we are tapping more into our own soul, we can feel that renewal of the interconnectedness within ourselves. Because that's really where it all starts, is within. So, and within the quantum field, do we disentangle ourselves energetically from these toxic energies? Our new entanglement is with our divine source within, that you can call God. So, however you want to express God as. And you're standing more within your own power of your own soul. So, there is a part of us that's saying, no more to all of this. We no longer want to participate in these energies. So there is a collective heart calling that I feel in humanity as we witness and experience what is happening now. So it's not about hating or holding ill contempt toward anybody. This is all part of our own experience and experiments of being here, also being a part about these major changes going on. So, these are the changes that we feel that heart calling, where we will go by our heart GPS, where we're being called in the moment. And that's why the discernment of your heart is so important right now to what is not, true to what is your own divine truth. So the illusions, breaking the cycles of the illusion within ourselves, healing ourselves, empowering ourselves, and self-sustaining ourselves, and being self-independent of the information that we receive through our own intuition, our own higher guidance. So these are very key and important points to make about all of this and what is going on right now, that I encourage each and every one of us to really dive in deep within yourself first and assess, what is going on, especially if you're experiencing certain things from others, right? That you may have done the work before, but then it just keeps coming back. Maybe there is another layer to the subconscious level that just needs to be purged and healed within. So as such, let's conduct a collective meditation that will, of course, support you doing this, because it is for the entire world. And most of all, I just want to hold this space too for so much of the catastrophes going on, right? A lot of earthquakes, volcanoes, fires, and then the recent incidents of airplanes that have been having issues. So let's together, you know, just take a deep breath and just relax. So just tune into your own heart and feeling that warmth and that space within you and that divinity, that connection that you have with your soul that is speaking to you with love and compassion. So let us all just visually see this circle of all the listeners coming together, holding hands as we surround Earth. And as we also receive this divine light from the center of the universe that comes in through the top of our heads, emanating and radiating our whole entire body in this pink violet flame of light. And we beam this energy towards Earth, that all in humanity are receiving this through their hearts and feeling that interconnected, that quantum cobweb of connection with one another through divine source, through so much compassion and love for one another, wishing them for their own healing, and desiring for them to be in this greater, higher vibrational timeline. Seeing how we all benefit from better systems. And you can see all of this light being infiltrated, even in all the societal structures, through the government and all political leaders, through the religious and organizational institutes, through the financial institutes, through the school systems and education, through the environmental support and systems, through all the media outlets and any of the all, corporate systems. Feel that flow of energy through the divine source. So let that source, divine source, do its work, that we are all interconnected here in this space and holding that space for it of compassion. So it is. And I invite you to continue to conduct these type of meditations for the collective and in prayer for so many right now. if we could all just come together with this energy of support as a starting place, we have the ability to shift the timelines also in the collective. So I invite you to do this often and re-listen to this, to come together in this way in the quantum field. And I am grateful for you for taking the time to listen to this episode and for also doing this collective meditation and prayer for all. So may you be well in everything that you do, and I will catch you in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to click like, save, and share with others so they can also experience what you just experienced. And stay tuned for some more high vibe episodes. And I'll be connecting with you in the next quantum field. Sending you so much love.